Okay, this is page 3. All this has been given to the police, the federal police, governor generals, the attorney generals, federal ministers, and so forth. Selmark, who'd been investigating this, it costed about $20 million. And it was given to Corryn Rayney lawyers. The response I got was quite disturbing. Okay, page 3. The Murder of Corryn Rayney, 2007. In 2007, I was living at 55 Bank Street on East Victoria Park, West Australia. This was a warehouse that I had converted into a home, and the phone number at the house was 08 area code 93619251. And I was living with my wife at the time, called Julianne Hamer, and my 2 daughters, Tessa May Hamer and Leah Jean Hamer. I first heard of the disappearance of Corryn Rayney from the media, and my wife, who appeared quite obsessed with the case at the time. She got the papers daily and read them to me. I was busy doing other things. At the time, I had a business associate by the name of Clive Lyndon Allen, and he was assisting me, and I helped him manage my business, Perth Airport Parking and Hamer Airport Parking. Never told me what he was and what he did, but later on I found out it was an SAS, ex-SAS guy, and basically worked as a mercenary. Clive Lyndon Allen. Important man, because he steals my passport and does all terrible things with it. Anyway, at the time I had a business associate by the name of Clive Lyndon Allen, who assisted me with one of my businesses, Perth Airport Parking, or airport.com.au and hamer.com.au. In return, I set him up with a business called Airport Car Detailing. In 2006, I accused Clive of stealing my British passport. Clive admitted to me at a previous time that he had been a mercenary and an ex-SAS Special Air Services with an expertise in forgery. He told me how he forged documents so his son Lyndon could get a very top job with the Health Commission, health something like that in West Australia. I later find out he broke into one of my friend's warehouses and set things up so it looked like I did it. The pair of them. And then I got threatened when I found out who it was. He made a comment that my passport was worth about $20,000. It vanished the very same day. My wife told me Clive had took it. It's not 100% clear whether Clive took it or my wife, but anyway, that's what she said. I reported this to my sister-in-law, Jennifer Shirley Stokes, who worked for Customs Investigation. And I was told she was very high up and very well connected, and she could flag people, and because he'd gone to Cambodia. Who I was told was very high up in customs. She informed me that she would take the appropriate steps and monitor his every move with Interpol. I also reported a stolen passport to the British Embassy. 2 or 3 months later, the passport turned up in my car, in my wife's car, which I believe was not the original. It didn't look the same. Didn't feel the same. I believe when I got it checked, it was called a covert passport. The man who's got that now is a man called Matt Wales. Not a very good man. Easy identified. He's got a tattoo of Jesus. We'll get to him at a later date. A night in the early August 2007, Clive turned up at my house and invited me for a drink. He was basically a functioning alcoholic. He was already drunk. He had already been drinking quite heavily, and I felt uneasy given the disappearance of my passport. There were also several other upsetting issues and events which took place over that year. He'd accused me of having an affair to my children. He'd embezzled. He'd done some terrible things. One of them was Clive falsely accused me of having an affair with an employee by the name of Jane Dixon, which was not true. Despite my misgiving, I felt that Clive was attempting to make amends with me that night. He wanted to go out on the town. I said, no. He wanted to do a pub crawl. I said, no. So we agreed to just go over the road to a place called Carlisle Hotel. We walked across the road and the railway line to a Carlisle Hotel. Unexpectedly, my wife would normally do this, my wife came with us. It was very strange because she made all the original accusations about Clive. I thought, it's not going to be nice. And Clive knew. So I was trying to sort of keep the peace. Anyway, she comes with us. I didn't know that they were working together. So, well, with hindsight. After a couple of drinks, my wife informed me that she just heard that Corryn Rayney's body had been found in a shallow grave in Kings Park. She explained to me where exactly. I assumed that my wife and Clive, who appeared to also know about the gravesite, about this grave, got this information from the media. Also, strangely, that evening, a woman who I did not recognise or had any interaction with randomly stood up and started singing. She pointed to us and invited Clive and I to join in with them. My wife also joined in, which was completely out of character for her. We were all getting intoxicated by that point. During the song, the woman intentionally grabbed my groin briefly and then carried on singing. I had a horrible feeling now with hindsight. She wiped something on my groin. Something my wife had given her in a condom. On returning to the house, 55 Bank Street, I offered Clive to sleep in my daughter's room, Leah's room, for the night, as he was too intoxicated to drive. Neither one of my daughters were home that evening. Strange. I did not sleep in the same bed as my wife. We've been sort of staying in bed in separate rooms. And I didn't sleep with my wife that night. And as we didn't really have much of a physical relationship, there's a reason for that. So I more often than I slept in my office in a separate room. I'll finish with that because that's page 3. Thank you.